I once did negative splits. I just stepped on a rock wrong. The running store told me I was overpronating, so I've been trying to mumble more. I thought interval training just meant running every couple of weeks. My name is Mike, and I'm a back of the packer.
So we've gotten a lot of fan mail over the last couple of weeks, and we've received quite a few requests asking for tips from Back of the Pack to address certain topics that viewers find to be the more challenging aspects of running an ultramarathon. Now, while I can't answer all of your questions, I thought to be fair, I would put all the questions we've received into a hat and then draw this week's topic out of the hat. So here we go. Okay, let's see here. Let's put that there. Probably not that one. Okay. Oh, well, that's not PC at all. Here we go. Okay, well, I happen to like Oprah. I don't know what. Okay. Here we go. I'm not quite sure about that. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's see, this is from Jimmy Dean in Tacoma, Washington. Jimmy says, I recently went out on a date with a new girl I met online, and everything was going great. We ended up going back to my place for drinks, and just as things were heating up, she told me she wanted to take things slow. I couldn't help but be surprised and let down. Do you have any advice on how I should deal with this? Thanks, Jimmy. Okay, thanks for writing in, Jimmy. I think I understand what you're asking. Essentially, what Jimmy's asking is, how do we deal with false summits during an ultramarathon? False summits can really take us out of our game. Just when you think you're cresting the top of a big, beautiful mountainside and preparing for a nice bouncy ride down, you realize you've been had. The climb continues. Now, some self-help gurus will tell you that keeping a positive attitude is key, but I disagree. When you've been dragging yourself up what seems to be the face of El Capitan for the better part of the night, and round a corner thinking you've reached the top, only to see the bobbing up and down of headlights seemingly 2,000 feet above your head, you need to give in to despair. You owe it to yourself. Don't try to tell yourself it'll be all right. Those lies will burrow down deep inside you and eat your soul from the inside out. I suggest you let out a blood-curdling scream that shakes the leaves off the nearby trees, and then a string of profanity so vile it poisons the groundwater in the area for 6 months. Number 2, some elite athletes would tell you that this is the time to be strong and dig deep, summon all of your courage and strength and push on as hard as you can. But I'm not so sure this is realistic. What do you do when you've just been punched in the gut? That's right, you bend over at the waist, vomit on your shoes, and let out a single teardrop. I suggest a similar approach here. I like to lean on my hiking poles for extra support. Number 3, feebly ask anyone who passes by your small pity party if they know how much further it is to the top. This is a great way to stay busy and feel like you're accomplishing something without actually moving. Number 4, ask anyone with a lot of hiking experience, and they'll tell you that having a good map is essential to avoiding situations like this. But based on the single water bottle I see in your left hand and the single packet of goo I see sticking out of your waistband, you're probably not a Boy Scout. But don't worry, there'll be plenty of time for you to make a map while you sit on the side of the trail in complete despair. Number 5, give in to the suck. The only reason false summits are so painful is because you're operating under the false pretense that when you get to the top of this climb, things are going to suck less. But I've got news for you. On the other side of this never-ending, God-forsaken climb is a never-ending, God-forsaken descent. And as much as your back is hurting and your calves are screaming at you louder with every step up you take, your knees are going to be aching and your quads crying out with every step down this mountain you take. So buckle up, Buttercup, and start embracing the suck. If this was easy, then your fat Uncle Bobby would be out here doing it. Now go get this thing done and quit crying into your bottle of Tailwind. It's got enough electrolytes.